Hello everyone, I am Mr. Best. And this is the movie, Brother Bajrangi. The film begins with the fact that the mute 6-year-old girl Shahida was playing with her pets, sheep. Her father, a shepherd, told her to go home. She ran, but tripped and fell off a cliff. When the father came home, the mother said that Shahida had not come yet. Then the villagers went out together to look for her. They found her stuck in a tree when it was already dark. The next day, the village headman advises the girl's parents to take her to a holy place in Delhi so that the girl can speak. But the father is worried that he fought for Pakistan for 5 years and the Indians will not give him a visa. Then the mother says that she is ready to do anything for her daughter and will take her to Delhi herself. The father sold all his flock of sheep to send the family to Delhi. Shahida and her mother go to India and pray in a mosque so that the girl can speak. On the way back at night, the train stopped due to a breakdown. When everyone was asleep, Shahida was woken up by the passengers snoring. She saw a lamb outside the window and got off the train to play with it. At that time, the train started moving and the little girl ran after it. But because she's mute, she couldn't call her mom. Another train arrived next and Shahida got into an open carriage, but the train went in the opposite direction. At that time, Shahida's mother woke up and started looking everywhere for her daughter. The train has already crossed the border of Pakistan. The woman pulled the stopcock and the train stopped. She asked the military to let her go in search of her daughter. But the woman was not allowed in, because a new visa is needed to cross the border. Her husband and grandfather comforted the suffering woman. They hope that there will be a good person in India who will take care of their girl. In the morning, the train carrying Shahida arrived in the city, where the festival of worship of the monkey god Hanuman was taking place. There she met a man, Pawan Kumar, nicknamed Bajrangi. When he was having lunch, Shahida watched him with hungry eyes. The man noticed this and called the girl to him and ordered food for her. He tried to find out her name, but realized that she was mute. Then he left her at the table and left. Shahida followed him. Bajrangi took her to the temple and told her to stay there and wait for her parents. He got on the bus and wanted to leave, but saw that the girl ran after him. Bajrangi stopped the bus and, taking the girl, took her to the police station. But they refused to keep the girl there. The policeman took Pavan's phone number and address and told him to take the girl with him. Bajrangi left with her by bus to Delhi. On the way, he asked the girl to raise her hand if he guessed her hometown. And he lists all the cities he knows. Fellow travelers also help him and name different cities in India. But Shahida waves her head negatively every time. The fellow travelers began to communicate, and Bajrangi tells the story of his life. He was the son of an intelligent and respected man. But the son couldn't even remember the multiplication table, couldn't fight because he was afraid of being tickled. His father called him Zero. The son studied for 20 years until the 10th grade, because he constantly failed exams. His friends suggested that he write off the cheat sheet, but he believes in Hanuman, so it's better to fail the exam than to write off. And as a result, he passed the exam from the 11th time. But when he told this happy news, his father died of shock. To fulfill his father's last wish, he went to Delhi to work for his father's friend. This is how Pavan meets his daughter Rasika, with whom he begins a romantic relationship. One day a young man and his family arrive to woo Rasika. But she takes Bajrangi by the hand and tells her father that she only wants to be with him. The father accepts his daughter's choice and gives Pavan 6 months to build his own house before the wedding. After hearing this story, the fellow passengers on the bus applaud the Bajrangi. Later, the man and Shahida arrive at Rasika's house. Her father thinks that the girl is from the Brahmin caste, since she has fair skin, so he allowed her to stay, although he does not allow people of other castes into his house. But he is not happy that Bajrangi does not think about himself and his life more than about others. Later, Rasika buys clothes for money, as they called the mute girl, and tells Pavan that if her parents are not found, then after the wedding they will keep the girl for themselves. Shahida has lunch with Rasika's younger brother, but she doesn't like vegetarian food. Sensing the smell of meat, she goes to her Muslim neighbors to eat. Pavan and Rasika find her there. They are shocked that the baby eats meat, because for them it is a big sin. Pawan and Rasika bring Shahida to a cafe to feed her meat. The next day, while walking, Muni saw the bracelets, and she took them for herself. The seller demanded money, but Bajrangi returned the bracelets back and told the girl that stealing was not good. Pawan brings Shahida to Hanuman's temple to apologize for eating meat. But the little girl saw the mosque and ran there to perform prayer. Pawan saw this and is in a panic, not knowing how to admit to his father-in-law that the girl is a Muslim. But Rasika tells him that the inequality of people and caste is all nonsense. There is a cricket match between India and Pakistan in the evening. When Pakistan wins, everyone is sad, but Shahida jumps and dances for joy, and then kisses the flag of Pakistan. Then Bajrangi runs up to the girl and asks, "Pakistan?" Shahida raises her hand and nods happily. Upon learning that the girl is Pakistani, the father throws her out of the house, ordering Pawan to take her to the Pakistani embassy. The next day, Bajrangi brings Shahida to the embassy and is going to leave her there. But the employee says that they do not issue a visa without a passport, and the girl cannot be left here. Suddenly, riots begin, and a crowd of protesters attacks the embassy, which is why all Pakistani embassies were closed for a month. Then Bajrangi takes Shahida to a travel agency with the hope that they will make her a passport and take her to Pakistan. An employee of the travel agency asks for 150,000 to take her across the border. Pawan collects all his savings, but he still does not have enough money. Then Rasika gives him the money she has saved for the house. She says that she will still be his wife, because she loves him for his pure and kind soul, and not because he can give her a home. Then Pawan takes all the money and takes the girl to the travel agency. She cries and doesn't want to stay there, but Bajrangi leaves her and leaves. On the way, he saw the bracelets that Shahida wanted for herself. He bought them as a parting gift and runs back to give them to the girl. But he saw that the travel agent had left with the girl. He followed them and found them in a brothel. The travel agent turned out to be a scoundrel and sold the girl. When Shahida saw Bajrangi, she rushed into his arms. Pawan beat the bastards and took the girl away. He decided to take her home to Pakistan himself, not trusting anyone else. On the way to the border, they meet people who explain to Pawan that the fence is energized at the border, and behind it are border guards who shoot first, then ask questions. They offer to cross the border illegally. Bajrangi and Shahida, along with these people, pass through the tunnel into Pakistan. Everyone leaves, but Pawan does not want to enter Pakistan without the permission of the military. When the border guards make a detour and find an Indian, they find out how he got through the border. Bajrangi honestly told them about the tunnel and the man who helps to illegally cross the border. The military sends Pawan and the girl back to the Indian side and fills the tunnel with sand. When they make the next detour, they again find Bajrangi and Shahida on the Pakistani side, who have passed through another tunnel. They beat up Pawan. The girl cries when she sees this. Pawan calms her down, saying that he is not in pain. The boss feels sorry for the girl and he says that in 10 minutes, when they will make the next round, so that he is not here. Returning 10 minutes later, they find Pawan again. He says the military never gave permission. And he promises that he will take the girl home and return to India. The border guards allow him to do this. The next day, they have lunch at a cafe, where the police also come. When Bajrangi and Shahida leave, the police run after them because the girl stole the handcuffs. When they found out that Pawan was from India, they demanded documents that he did not have. Then they arrest him, calling him a spy. Chand Nawab is a correspondent who is looking for sensational news. He makes a report where he shows Pawan and Shahida and asks provocative questions. The reporter wants to show a news report on the channel, but is refused. At this time, Pawan is being interrogated. Then Shahida saw a picture of a mountainous area and, delighted, showed it to the man. He realized that her house was there. But the policeman does not believe them and tries to get answers from Shahida. Bajrangi could not stand such treatment of her and, hitting a policeman, ran away with Shahida. They boarded the bus, and the reporter followed them. He called the policeman and told him where they were going. At that time, Pawan showed the picture to the conductor and asked what kind of place it was. He asked who Bajrangi was. Then he said that he was an Indian and wanted to bring the Pakistani girl home. Chand Nawab, hearing this, decides to help him. He hides them on the roof of the bus, knowing that soon the police will stop and search the bus. All the passengers answered the police's questions that they had not seen a man with a girl here. At night, the bus stops at the building and drops off Pawan, Chand Nawab and Shahida. In the morning, when Bajrangi wakes up, he realizes that it is a mosque and runs outside. Then the mullah comes and tells Pavan that the mosque is open to everyone, it doesn't matter if you are a Muslim or not. After learning the story of Bajrangi and Shahida, Mullah decides to help them. He shows the picture to the children who saw the inscription, Switzerland. The mullah also says that there are such mountains in Kashmir. He helps them get out of the village. Rasika is unable to contact Pawan and confesses to her parents that he has gone to Pakistan. And if he doesn't come back, then she will also go to him in Pakistan. Chand Nawab instructs Shahida to put a banana in the muffler of a random oncoming person. When he leaves, his car stalls. Then Chand Nawab offers to fix his car, while Mani pulls a banana out of the muffler, after which the car starts. Delighted, the man offers to give them a ride. On the way, it turns out that this is a police inspector, and he needs to go to the station, since an Indian spy escaped today. He asks his policeman to give them a ride. When they arrive at the planned village, Chand Nawab makes up that they haven't been here for a long time, because they ran away a long time ago, and the father is still angry. When they arrive at a random house, Chand Nawab asks them to stop, and the policeman is happy to watch the family reunion. Then Chand Nawab puts on a show and drags the resisting grandfather into the house, and the policeman leaves. At this time, the inspector learns that an Indian spy is traveling with a mute 5-year-old girl. Realizing that he was fooled, the inspector calls the policeman who escorted the trio and demands to return them to the station. But they had already escaped. Bajrangi, Chand Nawab and Shahida visit one village after another to find her home, but without success. Pavan then talks about his intention to surrender to the police so that at least they can find Mani's house. Chand Nawab dissuades him. He calls various news channels to have their story shown on the news, but was refused everywhere. The police caught Chand's partner, cameraman Kamo. And after beating them, they are forced to find out where the reporter is. After getting through to him, the operator learns that they are going to visit a holy place to pray for the imminent reunion of Shahida with her parents. Arriving at the place, Pavan and the sleeping Munna pass by her mother. Chand Nawab makes a video where he tells the story of Bajrangi and asks for help to bring the girl home. He posts videos on YouTube. Suddenly, he saw the police looking for them, and he escapes with Pavan and Shahida. In the evening, they watch a video with a report by Chand Nawab on camera, and the baby notices her mother. They find out which bus she took. And finally, they found out that she was from Saladinpur. On their way to the village, they came across police officers who were searching the bus. Bajrangi escapes to distract the police and Chand Nawab was able to get out with Shahida. They finally found Mani's house. And Chand Nawab runs after the girl, filming the happy reunion of the girl with her mother. At this time, the police beat Bajrangi. And when he tried to escape, he was shot. A YouTube video is going viral. The newspapers also published information about Bajrangi. Everyone sympathizes with him. But the chief of police demands to get a confession of espionage out of Pavan. The police do not agree with this decision. And, calling Chand Nawab, they ask him to make a new video on YouTube, where he calls on the residents of India and Pakistan to end the feud and meet at the border for the sake of a sincere Bajrangi, who risked everything for the sake of a strange Pakistani girl. The next day, hundreds of people from both sides gather at the border to help Pavan return to his homeland. The policeman, violating the order of his superiors, brought the man to the border. All those gathered glorify Bajrangi and call him their brother. Chand Nawab says goodbye to him and asks him to return to Pakistan once again, but not through a tunnel, but legally and with documents. Shahida and her parents also came to say goodbye to Pavan, but he doesn't see her and leaves. Then Shahida finally shouted out her first word, uncle. Hearing her voice, Bajrangi runs back to say goodbye to her. They meet in the middle of the border and Pavan happily throws Shahida into the air. That's where the movie ends. And how do you like the movie, Brother Bajrangi? Write your comment, like and subscribe to my channel. See you soon, friends.